and welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and a very happy Father's Day to you all, including my own father indeed, with whom I hope to share a cup of tea later on this afternoon. Oh, hang on, my phone is buzzing at me. That's fine. It's not a problem. We can continue with the video. Anyway, what puzzle are we going to be doing today? We're going to be having a look at Cascade by Xendari. Now, I love Xendari's puzzles, and this puzzle has been recommended a boatload of times over the last few days, and apparently it's not too difficult. It's got 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty, and it features a rule set that I absolutely love. I think other than the sort of mechanics that require computer assistance for them to work, like fog of war puzzles or soccer band puzzles, Region Some Lines, which is what this one is such a simple, beautiful rule set. Leads to some absolutely fascinating puzzles, and it is a very, very great invention for the world of Sudoku. I think the last Region Some Line puzzle I did was by Nevario, and that was wonderful. And I get a bit of deja vu with Region Some Line puzzles, because they do look similar to one another, but the logic is always different, and I'll read out the rules for this one in a moment or two's time. What do I have to tell you about today? I do have some news, don't I? I've got some, we've got sort of Father's Day announcements, some birthday announcements. We'll start off with a birthday for Anne-Marie over there in the Netherlands. Your Sudoku buddy Esmeralda wrote to us and said that you'd appreciate a shout out. So Anne-Marie, I hope that you have an absolutely brilliant birthday with, of course, chocolate cake. More on chocolate cake in a moment or two's time. Next, I'm going to shout out Nola. On your 29th wedding anniversary down there in Brisbane. And I know it's your birthday, well, not your birthday, your wedding anniversary, because your husband Stephen, aka Tailcat, wrote to us basically to tell us how much he loves you, and also to thank you so much for all your support over the last 11 months, which sound awful, because I know Tailcat has been recovering from lymphoma with complications. Goodness me. The result of which was that he really enjoyed the very long Cracking the Cryptic videos, because they could distract him. Well, Stephen, I'm delighted to hear that you're on the mend now. And yeah, Nola sounds like 1 in a million. So Nola, have a very happy wedding anniversary today. Next, another lovely announcement. This one for RJ. RJ, your wife Sarah wrote to us. And I understand the two of you are expecting your first child, a baby boy due to be born in September. Congratulations heartily to you both. That is fantastic news. And RJ apparently is notoriously hard to buy presents for, and Sarah thought that a shout out on Cracking the Cryptic might be a good present. Well, I hope it is, RJ. I understand you're not the only one in your family actually who watches Cracking the Cryptic. Your younger brother Stephen also watches too, which I'm delighted to hear. And I hope, I hope you have a great birthday today. No, sorry, well, no, it's not a birthday, is it? It's a no. I know what this is. This is your first Father's Day, sort of. That's what it is. Because it's an unofficial Father's Day, soon to become an actual father in September, but an unofficial father as of today. I hope everything goes obviously brilliantly with the birth. Get a lot of sleep in the meantime. That would be my advice. And RJ and Sarah, you must send us a picture when the little boy arrives. And then the last birthday, well, no, actually it's not quite the last birthday, but Tiffy, it is your birthday today. And I know this because your best friend Anna wrote to us and said you'd appreciate a shout out. So Tiffy, I hope the chocolate cake goes down with aplomb today. And speaking of chocolate cake, I'm going to share a picture with you from Coffs Harbour, Australia, where Patrick turned 60. And here we go. Here is Patrick. I hope you can see that Patrick not only has a very nice looking glass of, a decanter with some red wine, if I'm not mistaken, to celebrate his birthday, but also look at this cake. And Patrick's wife Narelle has in fact made what's described as a cherry ripe chocolate cake for Patrick on his birthday. Well, very well preserved there for 60, Patrick. And I hope you I hope you didn't eat all that cake in one go, but it does look like the ratio of icing to cake is correct on that one. So Narelle has done an absolutely splendid job, and happy birthday, my friend. And then the only other thing I need to mention is what is going on over on Patreon today, where we have a kids Sudoku hunt going live as I speak. So if you've got children you'd like to get into variant Sudoku, check that out. It should be a bit easier, even easier than last month's kids Sudoku hunt. So we're really trying to get people, or get kids especially, introduced into this world. And the other thing, of course, we've still got a couple of days left to enter the Planets Suite, which is our sort of full-scale Sudoku hunt for the month of June. And today's fact comes courtesy of the brilliant constructor DiMono, who tells us that Mars isn't actually red. The surface of Mars is not red. It just looks red when you look at it from other planets because of all the iron oxide in Mars' atmosphere. And in fact, if you were on the surface of Mars, the Mars dirt would look more butterscotch in colour. And until very recently, NASA apparently would retouch their photographs of the surface of Mars to make them look more red, because otherwise they thought the general public would not believe the photos were actually of the surface of Mars. I mean, this is the post-truth age. It's just bonkers. But anyway, DiMono, good fact wrap. Thank you for that. And yeah, that's everything. Right, we get to do some puzzle solving now. Let's have a look at Cascade by Xendari. And I will read you the rules of this one. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so we need to put the digits 1 to 9 in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Digits on a blue line must have an equal sum n within each 3x3 box the line passes through. If a line re-enters a 3x3 box, each segment sums to n separately. And if that sounds complicated, it really isn't. And there is an example. It says, e.g., row 3 column 1 plus row 3 column 2, let's highlight those two squares, equal row 4 column 2, equal row 3 column 3 plus row 2 column 3. I mean, I think I know what's going on here. I'm just double checking there's nothing weird. Equals that, equals presumably row 1 column 2 plus row 1 column 3. Yes. Right, so let's do some highlighting. Now, each of these colours, the digits in each of these colours sum to the same number. We don't know what that number is. Part of the puzzle is going to be to work that out. But basically you add up those two numbers and you should get that number. You add up these two numbers, you should get this number, and the same as, obviously these two numbers are actually the same, is what the rules are telling us. And that's how the puzzle works. So do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. I mean, why in fact don't we start? I am going to start with this line because as I was doing the example there, I could see things about it. Well, not only can I see those digits are the same by the rule, but I can actually do maths on those 6 cells, because these 6 cells, well, the triangular number for 6 is 21, i.e. what is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. So that is the absolute minimum I could put into those cells. Now if I did put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 in there, this would be 3 segments which would sum altogether to 21, but individually would sum up to at least 7. So these digits in the green here must be at least 7. There is another way of seeing that actually, now I think about it, and that's that there have to be 3 different ways of making the total that we put in the green cell. Now imagine we try to put a 6 in here. Or 6 you can only make in a domino as either 1, 5 or 2, 4, so it would patently break. You could do 1, 5 here, 2, 4 here, but then there would be no way to do this one. You'd try double 3 if you like, but you break the rules of Sudoku. So that sort of reconfirms what the mathematics is telling us. Now, here's another thought, which is where does green go in box 1? And the answer to that is green definitely doesn't go on its own in one of its own dominoes, because if you did put green in a domino, what would you have to put here to make this add up to green? Well, you'd have to put 0 in. And the software allows it, but Sudoku rules won't allow it, so don't do that. So I think green has to hide in the corner. So there's no 3. There's no 3 in this corner. There is green in this corner, but not 3. Now, what is this telling us? So that tells us there is a very high digit, which i.e. is 7, 8, or a 9, in those cells and these cells through the mechanism of Sudoku. And that tells us what, therefore. Ah, right, I can do one thing there. That's not green. Because let's just take a look at this line down here, and let's shade it in using the shading, the sort of shading we did in the example. Now, if you look carefully, this cell and this cell have to be the same, because this line here spends one cell in box 7 before it leaves it and then re-enters it again. So those 2 digits, so what does this mean? Because orange is this, these 2 are both the same number, they can't be green because they would clash in this column. So that's not green. That is obviously orange in terms of, if I designate this one orange, this is also orange. Now, green is not 9, because a green here, green plus some other number, is summing to a single digit total. So if we put 9 and 1 in there, which would be the least we put in, orange would be 10, and I can't write 10 into a Sudoku. So we can get rid of 9 from green. So these digits are either 1, 2, 7 or 8. And these digits are at least 8. So these are either both 8 or both 9. Orange in box 4 is in one of 3 places. It might be worth recording that, so I will. Okay. Orange, okay, so orange is, right, here is a small point. Orange is definitely bigger than green, because green adds up to orange on this line. So orange in the middle, or in box 1 again, has to be in one of those cells, because it can't be on a line that adds up to green. Okay, now I'm stuck. Bobbins. Okay, I'm going to look at this line now, because again, if we colour this line in, you can see that those 2 cells are the same number, and those 3 digits have to add up to whatever this digit is we put in purple. Now, if you're adding up 3 different Sudoku digits, you're adding up to at least 6, because if I minimise these 3 squares with 1, 2 and 3, 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6, so these squares are at least 6. And purple is definitely different from orange, but it might be the same as green. Let me just mull that over for a moment. If purple and green were the same, that would have to be... Yeah, I think that might work actually. Bobbins, okay. So we can... Right, so although I've labelled purple in the colour of purple, slightly a tautologous sentence, but I've labelled this digit purple. I am not saying that purple is not green. We're going to have to remember that purple and green might very well be the same number. Right, okay. Okay, I've got one more trick I can do here, I think. So definitely a recurring theme in this puzzle seems to be adding up a lot of digits within boxes. So we did it here when we tried to put a minimum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 on the line. But look, those 5 digits there, which would have a minimum sum of 15 if we put 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 into them, have to sum to those 2 digits. So these 2 digits have to add up to at least 15, which means this cannot be as low as 5. And this one really can't be green. But, okay. Oh, actually, this one this is interesting, actually. Well, what I was going to start by saying is that this one can't be orange, because orange is in one of these 2 squares. So this can't be orange or green. So this is a genuine new colour. But here's a thought. Where does 9 go in this box? And whether orange is 9 or not, it's 9 in that box is definitely in one of those 2 squares. So that square is not 9, and that means this square is not 6. Because if this is 6 now, I can't make those 2 add up to 15. So that's interesting. Yes, I know you never want to see me at a party. Now, can we? Oh, it's. Do we know? No, we don't, do we? I was wondering if we could deduce which of these was larger. But I don't think that's legitimate, is it? It's really getting very difficult for green to be on this line. Because if green is on this line, that has to be 8, that has to be 7, 1. That's the only way it could work. Hang on. There's something in my brain is telling me that doesn't work. Why does my brain think that doesn't work? If green is on this line... No, it doesn't work. No, there's more going on here. Wow. I haven't quite got to the bottom of this, but I can tell you for sure green is not on this line. Because if green was on this line, green would be 7. But then this square would be 8. But where's 8 in this box if this is 7? If this is 7, you can't put 8 on a line that adds up to 7, because -1 is not a valid Sudoku digit. So there would be an 8-9 pair here looking at this, preventing green from going on the line. So this is huge, because green now has to go here. And green is 7 or 8. But I think... Yeah. Right, this is good. Right, so where does green now go in this box? Green is 7 or 8. It cannot go on a 3-cell sum. Because if we only add 1 and 2 to this, we'd get to 10, and we can't write 10 into purple. So green has to go here. Which does give us a 7, 8, 9 triple actually in row 6. The 9 of which is in one of these 2 squares. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to mark it in case it triggers. Oh, here we go. Right. So now in box 5, green by Sudoku is on the line. So this has got to be... Oh, this is the same as this, is it? Well, it is sort of the same as... Oh. Well, hang on. So green is now involved in 2 different sums. By which I mean green here is having something added to it to arrive at a number that equals purple. Yeah, okay. Here's an actually. This might be. This is the simpler way of seeing it. I can now see that green can't be 8, because if green is 8, this is an 8-1 pair and that's a 9, and this is an 8-1 pair and that's a 9, and that clearly doesn't work. So green is 7. And if green is 7, this purple digit cannot be a 7, because we're adding something to 7 to make purple. So this is now an 8-9 pair, proving that green is 7. So green is 7 everywhere it appears. This is an 8-9 pair now in box 1, which means this square has become a 6 by the power of Sudoku. And 6, we know those two added up to 15 at least. So the only way to do that now is to make this the 9 and this the 8, which means these two squares are a 1-7 pair. 1-7 pair. This is an 8. This is a remarkable start now. So this is adding up to 9, so that's got to be a 2-7 pair. And okay, so this adds up to 9. Oh, hang on. Right, these add up to 15, so those 5 squares have got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 8 is now up here by Sudoku. 9 is... Oh, hang on, is that right? Yeah, 9's there by Sudoku, so that's 9, that's 8, that's 6 by Sudoku. This is 7, which we could have got before. Wow. This is very unusual for me to make this sort of progress so quickly. Now 6 here, this can't have 3 on its arrow then, or its line, because it would have to be double 3. So there is a 3 on the 9 arrow. So the 9 arrow is either 1, 3, 5 or 2, 3, 4. And if it was 2, 3, 4, this would be a 2. And there would be a 2 in one of those squares. Okay, look, we could purplify. Ooh, that's a horribly close to each other, those colours in my eyes anyway. That's purple. This is orange. This is that's not orange anymore, so orange is in one of those squares. Is that helpful? Yes. Okay, now I can do a trick down here, look. Where is 9 in box 7? And the answer is I have not got a Scooby-Doo. But having a think about that crystallises the thought about where 9 is in column 3. It's not in those squares, it's not in these squares, and by Sudoku it's not in those squares. So 9 goes on this line here. That gets purplified. 9 goes in the corner. I can see that by Sudoku. 9 is in one of those 2 squares. Can we? No. I see. Right. Now we can't put 9 on a region sum line that adds up to 8. So 9 is in this domino, which means 9 is not there. 9 is there. Purplify the 9, and all is good with the world. Oh. No, okay, I was about to say you can't put 9 on its own line, but you actually can. If that was a 9, it would be simply saying those 2 digits are the same number, which would then go there. Oh, hang on, we've got to think about 7. Yes, all of these add up to 7. Ah, oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. Right. Where does 1 go in box 1? Now, by Sudoku, it doesn't go in those 3 squares, so it's in one of those. But what accompanies the 1 on its line to add up to 7? Well, it's 6, isn't it? So if this was a 1-6 pair, that doesn't work at all, because by Sudoku, you're putting 6 on this line, which has got to add up to 6, so this would have to be 6-0, and that doesn't work. So this is 1-6, which means 6 is in one of 2 cells in box box 3. These squares are from 1, 2, 4 and 5. They're either 2, 4 or 1, 5. In fact, they're not 1, 5. That is a 2, 4 pair out of nowhere, which might help. Maybe. What about... Well, hang on. What about where 8 goes in this box? 8 goes there. So that gets orangified. 6 gets placed. 6 is in one of 3 cells in box 9. These squares are a 1, 3, 5 triple. So now we need 2 and 4 to complete row 2, and one of those digits is on this line. So if that's 4, that's 3, and if this is 2, this is 5. 8, oh no, we don't know. 8 is in one of those 2 squares. Can 8 be, if 8 is there, this has to add up to 8 without being 2, 6 or 1, 7. So this would be a 3, 5 pair. That might be possible actually. Okay, now I'm stuck. How do we do this? We've still got quite a lot of lines to think about actually, so we ought to be... I might be a bit stuck, but I think there are still some things that we can mull over here. He says, desperately trying to work out what those things are. What about... I see. So we've got 3... In this row, we've not placed 3, 5 and 8. Now, I can't put 3 there, because that would make this a 1, 2 pair. So this is 5 or 8. Now, if it's 5, this is a 1, 4 pair, which might be okay. And if it's 8... we've just worked out this is a 3, 5 pair. Oh no, okay, that's no good. Well, oh no, okay, no, it's not too bad actually. Where does 6 now go in the middle box? By Sudoku, 6 has to go there, I think. So 6 is in one of 3 cells in box 8. No, this is huge. Right, this domino adds up to 8, and it's not 2, 6 or 1, 7, so that's 3, 5. And that means that can't be 3, 5, which was one of its options. So if this was 8, I think we thought that had to be 3, 5, and it now can't be. So this is not able to be 8, which means that's 8, and that's 5. Which means this is 3, that's 4, which means this is a 2, 5 pair at the top of the column. Now, has that... Yes, where does 5 now go in this box? It goes here. That puts 3 there. This is 1, 4, so this is not allowed to be 1 or 4. Oh, I see, okay. So this is 1 or 4 now. What about this row? This row needs 2, 5 and 6 into these squares. Let's see if we can do any better. This column actually, if we look at that, we've effectively got 6 digits in this column. That has to as a naked single, it's a 2. It can't be 5 or 6 by Sudoku. And that's lovely. That does these, does this. Here we go. 2 by Sudoku goes here, so 2 goes here, 7 goes here. 7 is the colourful digit, so we need to de-green this 2, which goes there by Sudoku, and that means we need a 1 or a 4 here. 1, 3, 4. Yes, okay, where's 3 in the top row? 3 goes there, and we're left with a 1, 4 pair, which we might not be able to do, I'm not sure. These 2 squares add up to 11. Yes. These 2 add up to 11. They're not 3, 8, they're not 4, 7, and they're not 2, 9, so they are 5 and 6. Wow! Sorry, I pressed spacebar too many times. So that's 6, that's 1. 1 is now in one of those 2 cells, which... Oh, well, we know... Right. This little triumvirate here, we know included a 3, and it has to add up to 9. Well, it doesn't include 2 anymore, so it's not 2, 3, 4. So this is 1, 3, 5. Let's put that in. That means this is 2, this is 4. We've got a 1, 3, 5 triple in column 8. Is that worth our attention? 2, 4, 6 and 7 for the rest of the column. I am going to pencil mark that. It's slightly against my better judgment, but yeah, see, look, 8 in this column is quite restricted, but that looks like it may well want to be 8 to me. Yeah, I think I can't see how to immediately eliminate that option anyway. Right, so what do we need to think about then? We could think about let me think. Come on, Simon. That's 2, so that's 5. So it's probably this line we need to consider. Ah, that's not 5. Oh, no, that doesn't do anything. 1, 3, 1, 3, 4 along here. Now, we can get rid of 1 from this square. I think I've got to think about that cell, haven't I? What could that be? In theory, it could be 2, 3, 4 or 9, so it's almost certain to be 9. Oh, no, hang on. Oh, hang on. No, it's not. It's definitely not 9. Okay. Well, it's not 2, because I can't put 2 1s into there. And it's not 3, because this can't be a 1, 2 pairs. This is huge. So that's 4, and as Maverick comes to fly over... Hello, Maverick. This is now 1, 3 pair, and there's a 1 there. So this has got to be 1, that's got to be 3, that's got to be 4, that's got to be 3. This is a 1, 5 pair. That square I ought to be able to work out. That's an 8, which does the 8 and the 9 at the top, the 9 at the bottom. I'm going to get a 3 in the corner here, I think. Right, 3 in row 7. Again, this is a very common pattern that I try and spot a lot. You can see the 3s are coincident here in these dominoes. So immediately my attention turns here, and I ask where 3 can go in row 7. It's just a sort of easier way of spotting potential hidden singles. And right, so this is now a 3. So this column still needs 1, 2, 4 and 5. So that square, which is the one on the line, is 1, 2, 4 or 5. And this column needs an 8 in it. That can be placed. That locks the 8 off this cell. So we're going to check this cell in a moment. This is a 1 or a 5 in the corner. So we literally have 1 chance for a 3 in the corner now. Everything else doesn't seem to be able to be 3. And this column needs 1, 4, 7, a snooker maximum. Okay, well we can't make this 1 because we couldn't make it. Oh, we can't make this 4 because that would have to be a 1, 3 pair, and 3 is already there. So this is 7, and this is 1 or 4. That's not 7 anymore by Sudoku. So that looks like there are a few ways this might work actually. Although I've now seen some Sudoku we can do. 7 here, 1 here. That doesn't actually reduce the possibilities. But 7 needs to be fully greened, doesn't it? So 1 loses its colouring. 7 needs to be fully greened. So that's 7 by the full greenliness of the world. 2, 4, 6. No, that's a naked single. That seems to see a 4 in its row. So 6 and 5 go in. 6 has got to be here now. 9 has got to be here. Sorry, that's been available for ages. I just didn't see it. That's got to be that colour. That's got to be that colour. That's got to be this colour. That loses its colour. All of the 8s should be oranged, and we've got all of them now. This digit is a 1 by Sudoku. So that's a 1, that's a 4, that's a 1, that's a 4, that's a 4. I think this might be done now, but I'll check it in a second. Right, what ways have we got left of making... Oh no, bobbins, there's still 2, I think. That can't be 4, I suppose. Oh, actually, oh, this is it. Right, that can't be 6 by Sudoku. And if this is 4, it needs to have a 3 here, which it can't have. So that is in fact 2. That's 5, that's 1. That's 4. That's 5, that's 1. That's 4, that's 2. That's 1, that's 5. And that's 5, that's 3. Oh no! No! They went the wrong way round. Oh, bobbins, sorry. I don't think that's... Yeah, it went the wrong way round. Well, assuming this is right. In fact, let me just pause for a moment and check we've coloured everything that we're meant to colour. Looks like all the 9s have been coloured. All the 8s. And all the greens. So if this is right, we're good to go. Yes, we are. 168 solvers in 7 days. So, I get that actually. That did feel, for a region some lines puzzle, that felt quasi-approachable, didn't it? It wasn't genuinely approachable, but it wasn't too bad. And it was repeated use of a little bit of mathematical trickery. All we had to do was keep track of the sort of triangular number options. So we could limit, what was it, those 2 squares to being quite high. These 2 having to be quite high was very helpful. And then it was sort of noticing where the high digits had to go in box 1 and the fact that they kept looking at this digit and putting downward pressure on it. It's very pretty. It really is very pretty. And it resolved itself with a fair amount of alacrity. So Xendari, as usual, thank you very much for showcasing your incredible setting skills, and thank you for watching, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.